Fred here, welcome back to the Gear Obsession channel. In this episode, I will be doing a review of the Microsoft Touch Mouse, so stay tuned. So here's what it comes in, the box, and it has some pretty slick packaging. There's not really too much reading material, but you do get some basic instructions on the flap here. And I already took the mouse out because this really is a review. I've been using this for about a week. Now it does say that it requires Windows 7, has a 100 megabit requirement on your hard drive space. It does come with the two AA batteries, and it is a USB mouse. And you could pretty much bet this is made in China. The other thing is that this features Microsoft's Blue Track technology. That means that it has like a blue light on the bottom instead of your typical red light. It enables a higher definition type of movement. But let's stop talking about the packaging and let's talk about the mouse. You do get this mouse. You also get this cable, which you may or may not actually need, and we'll talk about this in a second. So here's the mouse, and if you notice, there's no clear buttons of any sort on here. That's because this area right here with all these X's on it is a capacitive touch area, just like your capacitive touch screens that you would find on, let's say, your tablet or your smartphone. Now, one interesting thing is that if you want to, click left button, you just sort of click in this area. You click right button, you just click in this area. You want to scroll, you just make that normal scrolling motion as long as it's within this area. Now, the area back here does not have those X's on it, so that's not a touch area, which is nice because then you could sort of rest your hand back here while using the rest of the mouse. So that was kind of smart thinking. It is pretty ergonomic compared to, let's say, the mouse that Mac has. I'm trying to remember the name of this stupid thing. I think it was, I don't know. But here's the version that Mac has, and you can see it's flatter. It's a much flatter mouse, so your hand is sort of cramped up on it like that, and you don't have any place to rest your palm. I know it's not the Mighty Mouse, the Magic Mouse. That's the Magic Mouse. Same idea, capacitive touch, but just not, it's flatter and not as ergonomic for most people. So anyway, getting back to what this review is about, there is a little light here. That's if, I guess your batteries are getting low. You have a on-off switch right here. This is where the blue light comes out, where it's taking pictures of the surface, high contrast pictures, so it could figure out from one picture to the next where the mouse is moving. That's how it works. So it doesn't have a trackball like those old-fashioned mice that have a ball. This mouse has no balls, so this is a female mouse. Alright, and in here you have your little dongle. It's kind of a disappointment that this is not Bluetooth. It would have been nice if it were, but it's not. You have to take this little Microsoft USB dongle and stick it in your computer. Now, I'm going to go ahead and do that here in a second. The battery compartment is right here. You just sort of pop the two batteries in there. It does come with two AA Duracell batteries. Thank you for adding that. And let's talk about the price real quick. The price was is normally $79, but I did get it on sale at Staples for only $39. So far, since this mouse has been out, Staples for some reason has marked it down for a short period of time to $39. Not even a little sale thing, not publicized, not any kind of sale picture of any sort, red label on it. They just lowered the price and really didn't yell about it too much. So really weird. Now to turn this on, all you do is just flip the button and you can see it's on. Now, one other thing I noticed about this mouse is, let me reach back here, is the way it feels when you move it, as it moves. Now you can see here is my, I've gotten a lot of comments about this mouse. This is a Death Adder by Razer. This is the mouse I've been using for about a year. Very comfortable, you know, it's absolutely incredible as far as the comfort, and also it glides so easily. It's just super smooth. And when you go from a gaming mouse like this, where it just glides, to something like this where it's a little bit heavier because it has those batteries in it, and it seems like that the plastic that it's sort of sliding on is maybe just a little bit softer than the harder plastic that's found on this gaming mouse, that it sort of just has a little bit of stickiness. It's not stickiness, but it just doesn't move across the surface as easily. And the same goes for the Magic Mouse. It has that same, it looks like it's almost the same material. They're a little bit heavier and they don't move as smooth as some of the really nice gaming mouses. So I'm going to go ahead and plug in my dongle, and then we'll go ahead and try this mouse out. So what you're looking at is my screen here, and I have the mouse sitting in this orientation where the top is here, the bottom's here, because I want you to see my fingers move around. Now I have a web page here, and I purposely put it in a smaller window so I could show you how it scrolls. All you have to do is put your finger here and just sort of move up and down, just like that. And you can also go side to side. Really neat. By the way, this did not come with any software. You just plug in the USB thing, and since it's Microsoft, I guess Microsoft knows how to load what it needs. The drivers, I guess, are built into Windows 7 operating system, which is a requirement for this mouse. But pretty cool. Now let's say you want to minimize this window. You need two fingers. All you do is do a two-finger swipe down, whoop, and it's minimized. Want to bring it back? Voila. Now, I have another application that's minimized that's running down in the bar down here, the taskbar. So I'm going to do a three-finger swipe up, and you can see there's the two applications running. I'm going to go ahead and click on this one, and it brings it up. Now you can see I have two applications running here, and I want to make it where I have 50% of the screen this application, 50% this. Windows 7 has this built-in snap to the side routine, so I could come over here to this application and I could do a two-finger swipe to the right, and bang, 50%. Then I come over to this application. I gotta, highlight the frame. What I mean by that is you have to click the window to make it the active window, and then I'm going to do two-finger swipe to the left. Bang! And now I got a perfect 50-50 split. This is great if you're working on an Excel spreadsheet while you're doing something else. I'm actually going to use this at work. I'm not going to continue using it here at home because this could definitely help me be more productive in a work environment. Alright, so let's get back to this one right here. I'm going to go ahead, I'll do a two-finger swipe back, go back to where it was. I'm going to take this window here and minimize it with a two-finger swipe down. And let's say you're moving back and forth on a web page. You could do this weird swipe thing on the side with your thumb. Like, I'm going to back up one page to the one I was viewing on my web browser before. And all I'm going to do is go a swipe down like that. And now I'm on the last page I was on. Now if I were to go back forward, all I would do is swipe up this way. Just do a swipe. Pretty neat. And it took me a little while to figure out where it was on the mouse to do this swiping. And eventually I figured it out. When you first load this and the drivers load, it brings up some instructions and it takes you through all the swipey routines. This video is a review. It's not really showing off all the features, and I'm not going to show you every single thing because there are a lot already out there on some of the good tech channels. But I want to give you some of my impressions about this mouse. Now I'm going to show you a problem with these capacitive touch mouses. Right clicking could be a problem. I'm going to go ahead and right click, and you can see how you get that right click menu that pops up. Well, if you're the type of person that leaves your fingers laying on the mouse all the time and you just press with your right while your left finger is sort of laying there, it's going to still think it's a left click instead of a right click. You got to take that finger off and press on the right side to get that come out. And I'm talking about right-handed. For left-handed, just reverse left and right. You know what I'm talking about. You can't lay both fingers across and get that secondary menu. You have to lift the other finger up, right-click to get that secondary menu up. So, just something to keep in mind. You might have to change the way you work a little bit. Now, another thing is that the smoothness. If you're used to using the Magic Mouse by Mac, Apple, it's definitely smoother. You know, when you're doing this on the Mac, it's just smoother, and you know, if you hit the top, you get that little bit of a bounce. So it's more fluid on the Mac than it is on Windows. But as far as all the functions and everything, it's definitely a more functional mouse. It has better swiping features, and it's also more ergonomic than the Magic Mouse or Mac. Now, you can't really use this and get all the features on the Mac. This is Windows 7 only, and vice versa. If you use the Mac Magic Mouse on a Windows 7 machine, you're not going to get all the features that you would have got on the Mac, obviously. Now, I said I was going to talk about this long cable. Well, if your dongle's on your computer pretty far away, you might lose, I guess, connectivity between the dongle and the mouse. So they give you this really long cable, and at the end of the cable, you can put the USB dongle in there, and you can plug the other end in the computer far away. Very long cable, and they have a little sticky thing with some Velcro, so you could get that dongle closer so your reception is better. Now, do I recommend the Touch Mouse by Microsoft? Well, for $79, you're definitely getting worth. You know, it's worth it because you're getting a very, very awesome technology, and I think I would have easily gave this a 10 out of 10 if it were Bluetooth, but it's not, because it would have been nice to not even mess with a dongle if you're, let's say, using it with a laptop that already has Bluetooth in it. Now you've got to use up one of your USB ports to put this dongle in there. So that was kind of a disappointment. So for the $79 price range, I'm going to give it a 9 out of... Well, actually, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 if you get it for $79, because my other hit and disappointment is that it doesn't move very fluidly across your mouse pad as some other mice. I might be spoiled from my gaming mice, but you know what? I'm a critical reviewer when it comes to these kind of things. Now, if you get this for $39, if you get this for the unbelievable low price of $39, which sometimes it's Staples, hint, then it's a 9 out of 10. But really, this is not for the gamer. This is for someone in the office, working in the office, where you're always trying to line up windows side by side, and this touch mouse really makes it easy to do that. And it really is pretty precise. It can work on just about any surface with that blue track technology. It really doesn't have a hard time. So you don't have a mouse and you're working on some weird surface, it's going to work for you. So I'm probably going to bring that to work, and then you get to see my Razer back on my desk. I get so many comments on this, and most folks think I'm a gamer. I've only used flight simulators. I love flight simulators, and there haven't been any new good ones lately. I think the last one I messed with was X-Plane, and before that was Microsoft's Flight Simulator. And you need a joystick for that, really, not a mouse. So anyway, thank you very, very much for joining me here at the Gear Obsession channel. I really appreciate every friend, viewer, and subscriber. And I will see you next week. So take care. Bye.